Review Con, and today I've got a very nice review for you guys. It's the iOS 6 review, and I'll be covering all the features in depth to give you my opinions on it, the positives and the negatives. Right, we're going to start with Maps. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you had heard about this, and it's been regarded as quite of a flawed feature, but I'll show you guys anyway what's new about Maps. Now, before in iOS 5, and all the iOSs before that, the iPhone and the iPad used Google's Maps, but now Apple decided to go with their own maps, which is basically provided by TomTom. As you see here, it says TomTom Companies and other. And the reason this has had so much criticism is because it's been quite inaccurate, and it's just not been up to the level that we expect it from, such as from Google Maps that has been implemented before. Right. Well, I'll show you some of the features I do like, which is one is called Flyover, which is basically, for example, this is only available in big cities, by the way. So if I go into New York, and I'll show you guys how this feature works. I'll go into satellite mode, and then I'll zoom in on Manhattan. Right, so as you can see here, this is Manhattan. If I click this button here, you can see a really nice view of all of Manhattan's buildings. It's almost like a 45-degree angle. It's called Flyover, this feature, and what it basically is like it pretends you're in a helicopter and you can see all around the city. Basically, you're flying around, zooming around the city, and it's really quite nice. It works quite well, and you can see the buildings, and it just looks very nice. I'm not sure this will be very useful when driving, but it does look very nice, and I do like this feature. There isn't much to like about Apple's maps, but this is definitely something that I do like. Now, another one that I do like is turn-by-turn directions. And before, when they had Google Maps, it simply didn't have turn-by-turn directions. But now, for example, you can use your iPhone as a sat-nav. So, for example, if I go into, type in Heathrow Airport. Yep. And what I can do is directions to here, and I can start the and if I just click start here now,
starting route to Heathrow Airport.
So as you can see
head
there,
northeast on College Road.
So as you can see there, it's just Siri speaking, and you can see all. If I was in a car and I started driving, it would actually start going and it would be giving me directions, which is a very nice feature. And I have tried this; it works quite well. So this is one of the things I like. Now, some of the things I don't like, I can't actually show at the moment. It's just that some of the areas are just not accurate enough or as detailed enough as they used to be in Google's own maps. Some of them have been like really, for example, some places have just not been accurate enough, and the representation has been really bad. But this is one feature that I don't really like about iOS 6, but the flyover feature is quite nice. Now, the next thing we're going to go out onto is Passbook. Now, this Passbook app here has just been added to in iOS 6, and what this basically does, this app, is it orders all of your, for example, your boarding cards, tickets, store cards, coupons, and any cards that you might have into one nice neat app. And for example, if you go to Starbucks, there's a Starbucks app, and you can just swipe your phone and pay for your coffee there. There aren't many apps at the moment, I'll just show you guys, but I think this app has a lot of potential, and it's nice to see that they've incorporated it. So as you can see, there's Starbucks there, and as you just saw, that you can just swipe your coffee and leave the store, and it will pay for you if you already have it prepaid on this. I'd like to see NFC incorporated into the iPhone 5, which will make this app really useful. But for example, it works just as fine in the iPhone 4S as well. Right, the next feature we're going to go on to is the app stores and the iTunes stores. Now, they've been redesigned slightly, not a huge feature, but I'll show you guys anyway. For example, the top chart here looks slightly different now. Yeah, they're the main features. And for example, if I want to download this app, Gangnam Dance Booth, and if I click free and start installing my app, let me just put in my password. Won't be a second. Right. Now, as you can see, it's installing the app, and it doesn't take me to the page where it's been downloading like it did before. As you can see, I can see now it's downloading there, which that's quite a nice feature because you might want to continue browsing for other apps as well. Now this screen has also been updated here, so you can just swipe around here, look for apps, and just browse around. But it's the same. It hasn't changed a lot, but I do like how they've just given it a normal refresh. This is also the same for iTunes. If you go into the Music App Store now, right, we'll just let it open on. Again, very very similar. This time just for music though. I can swipe through songs, open up this album there, and see all the songs and just buy them from here, which is very very nice. Right, the next thing we're going to go on to is Siri. Right, Siri was released originally on the iPhone 4S in 2011, but now they've released basically the second version of Siri, which can do a lot more things. Like before, it couldn't tell sports scores and stuff like that, and it can also launch an app now, which is very very useful. And we'll show you guys how this works. When is Liverpool's next match?
Liverpool, Southampton game is tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Now, as you just saw, this is a Premier League match in the English Premier League, and it gave me the fixture list telling me that the match is tomorrow at 3 p.m. This is very very nice because I always wanted this in the first series, but now I've got it, which is absolutely brilliant. I can also, for example, launch Fruit Ninja. Launch Fruit Ninja. And there we go, the app's opened up, all by just using my voice. That's very very nice as well. I wish they'd had that in the first series, but I guess better now than never. Right, another thing is, in iOS 5 they added Twitter integration, which was very very nice, but the problem with me was that I didn't use Twitter, so I used Facebook, but now it's absolutely brilliant that they've added Facebook integration as well. I'll show you guys. If you go into settings, and before you could see just Twitter there, now they've added Facebook. You can go in to Facebook, sign in, and it's basically a one-time sign-in, and you can choose the apps that are allowed to access your Facebook. And this is very, very nice because now I don't have to continuously sign in, which is good. Right, now as you can see there, this YouTube app here looks completely different. This is because in iOS 5 they still had their own YouTube app, but now they've put in they've got rid of that, and this is another YouTube app released by Google itself. So again, I prefer the old YouTube app, but I guess it doesn't matter. We've still got the YouTube on here. By the way, the YouTube app on the iPad has also been taken out, and Google still hasn't released one, so that's a bit of an issue for me. Now, one of the things I really like is this Do Not Disturb feature. If I go into settings now basically what this does is I can set a time when this is active, and what this will do is that if any calls or any messages I have, it'll put them on silent. But the clever feature about this is, for example, if I put on repeated calls, if someone calls twice, I know that the call is probably going to be important, and I can put this on, and if they call twice, it will actually allow the call to come in, and I can pick it up. This is very very useful in the night. For example, if someone's called 2 or 3 times, you can pick it up knowing that it's important, and when it's only just once, it won't disturb your sleep. And I found this feature to be very very useful. One of my favourite actually. Right, another thing now is FaceTime. Right, I know FaceTime is not a really big feature, but what it is that FaceTime can now be done over cellular as well as Wi-Fi. Not so big, but I guess it's a nice feature. Right, I think I've covered all of the features. One more that I'll show you guys is the phone has been slightly changed. Now, for example, if I get a call, there's a lot more that I can do with that call now. I'll just give you guys an example. If I get a call here any second now. Now, as you see that I'm getting a call, what I can do is I can scroll up here, and I can, for example, reply with a message and say, I'll call you later, I'm on my way, or make my own message as well. That's very, very nice. Because it's useful if you're, for example, in school or in a meeting and you can't really talk back, you can just swipe up and select the messages there as well. So I hope you guys like this review of iOS 6. Overall, iOS 6 is a solid upgrade. It's very stable, very fluid. It hasn't lost that, but I don't think it's introduced such huge features. And maps is something definitely that they need to address that down the line. But there are some good features, as mentioned. Do Not Disturb mode, the phone application that has been changed, and also some of the apps also have been changed as well. Thank you for watching, guys.